In this video, I'm going to share with you 9 ways you can maximize your Amazon FBA business. Hi, I'm Adele. I'm a mom of 2 living in Surrey, and I'm running an Amazon FBA business alongside my full-time job. I'd like to welcome you all to my journey. So let's dive right in. The first one is top cashback. This works really well for online arbitrage. Online arbitrage, if you're not familiar with it, is basically just sourcing products online for Amazon FBA. The extension works in the background, so when you go to a website that qualifies, whatever you purchase will then get cashback in your top cashback account. One thing with top cashback is it can take up to 3 months for the money to move from pending to cleared. But obviously, as you're building up your online arbitrage, you'll have a steady stream of money that you can then cash out. The second one is Coupit. It's another browser extension that you can use. And what it will do is when you get to checkout, it'll run some discount codes and you could get a further discounts on your purchase. Now, you can use this with top cashback, but I generally find when I activate Coupit for the discount codes, I need to reactivate the top cashback. So just bear that in mind when you're doing online arbitrage. The third one is much like Coupit. It's called Honey. It will also look for discount codes. Sometimes they're the same and sometimes they're different from Coupit. So sometimes it's worth running both of them. So it's worth running both of them to see which one gives you a maximum discount. You also get Honey Gold. I'm not too sure what it does, but I figure it can only be good, right? Either way, just remember to reactivate your top cashback so you can get that money back. The next 3 apps that I'm going to mention are really good if you're going down the use books route for Amazon FBA. It will help pump up your income and give you some much needed cash flow right in the beginning of your journey. They all do the same thing, so it really comes down to personal preference. I find when I go sourcing for books, a lot of the shops will offer, say, 5 for £1, 3 for £1, something like that. And then I will find 1 book, 2 books that will work well. And then I'm kind of fishing around, not sure I should send the 3rd, 4th, or 5th book into Amazon, and I don't want it sitting in inventory. So that's when I'll pull out one of these apps and I'll start scanning. And then those will find extra books that I can top up and then make up the batch that I need to buy at the shop. Now, which app you use really comes down to personal preference. If you really want to maximize it, you can use all 3 because all 3 of them will pay different amounts for different books. One might not even want a book, whereas another one will pay you £1 for that book. There are a few things to remember when using these apps. The first one is, even though you've scanned a book, if you're not going to send it in fairly quickly, the app might delete those books, and there is a chance that they might not accept that book again. If you are planning to send books through to any of them, I would say look at their minimum thresholds. If I remember correctly, I think most of them will require a minimum of £5 in payout for you to send a box through. Some of them will have a minimum of 10 books. So just make sure you know the minimums before you go into it. There is nothing worse than coming home with books, putting them aside, and the next week the app won't accept it. So what are these apps, you ask me? So the first one is called Ziffit. That tends to be the one that I go to the most. The second one is Music Magpie, and the third is We Buy Books. Now, all of them work in much the same way, and actually for all 3, I have a referral code where you'll get £5 with your first trade, and I'll pop those links in the description for you. The final app I'd like to talk about is one that works really well if you're doing a lot of retail arbitrage. It's called ZipZero. Now, how ZipZero works is you will go to a shop and you'll purchase something and you'll get your receipt. You then need to take a picture of that receipt, upload it into the app, and it will then give you some money back. The one thing to know about ZipZero is that you can't cash it out in cash. They're using it to help you pay bills. So personally, I put the extra money into my energy bill, but you can use it for other bills. I think people have used it for their cell phone bill. They have a list on their website of bills that you can pay using your money that comes in from ZipZero. The one thing to know about ZipZero is that it takes a while to build up the money, but once it does build up and you get into a rhythm, you can be cashing out into your bills, and it does make a difference. I'd just like to pause here and say that if you're getting any value from this video, I'd really love it if you could like and subscribe. It just helps me reach more people like you. The next 2 tips is about finding other marketplaces for you to sell your Amazon products. The most obvious one would be eBay. You can list your products on eBay and then use Amazon to fulfill it. And if that's something you'd like to know more detail about, please let me know in the comments and I'll make another video about that. But basically what you're doing is you're going to list your products on eBay and then you'll create the order in Amazon for them to then deliver to your customer. You do need to factor in the eBay fees and the Amazon shipping fees, as these will cut into your margin. I find this is really good for products that might be a bit more slow moving, maybe your used books or more seasonal products, or something that's just had too many people jump on the listing. Of course, if you're doing FBM on Amazon, eBay is a perfect way to add an extra income stream. And then another marketplace that I think not a lot of people think about is Vinted. Now, I know Vinted is more about secondhand products, but if you find you have something that appeals to many people, there's no reason why you can't list it on Vinted. One thing I would say with Vinted is just look at what you can and can't sell. They do have some prohibited items, so just make sure you're educated in that, because you don't want your account closed for something that could be easily avoided. So those are my 9 ways to maximize your Amazon FBA income. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. Until next time.